What's up, guys? It's Barney here with the Disciples, and we've been very excited to share this with you. This is the Disciples Edison Cup Winter 2022. And to kick things off, we have a very special guest to commentate with me today. We have Keegan from E3 YuGiOh. Say hi, Keegan.
What's up, duelists? Thanks for having me, Barney. I'm really excited to see what you guys have put together here for the Edison Cup Winter 2022.
No, man,
Tell
the
me a little
thanks
bit
is
about
all
this
ours. Yeah,
this
thank you so much for coming
metagame
on.
chart.
Of course. So we've got 13 players in the Edison Cup, and they're all of our team members. So everyone mostly decided to bring different lists. Here is a little pie chart that I made showing all of the different lists that were in the cup. We had 2 Diva Hero, 2 Blackwing, 2 Frog Monarch, and then we had one of a load of different decks like Hero Beat, Dragon, Quick Draw, Lightsworn, Zombie, Flamvel, things like that. So yeah, we've got a wide range of decks, and
And that's
the
just
fact,
kind of what you expect to see in Edison format, right? Just huge variety, everyone playing their favorite thing. You know, that kind of vibe.
yeah, exactly. I think that's one of the reasons why we all love playing Edison so much. Um, and yeah, so basically, our first round is the round that we're going to be commentating today, you and I, and that is a round between Marcus, who won the first Edison Cup with his Gladiator Beast deck, but he's now playing something different. He's playing Diva Hero for this Edison Cup, and in the last Edison Cup, he ended up beating in the finals Connor, who's playing Lightsworn, and he's playing that again for this cup. Oh, and I just want to say as well, Connor is I think in the last pumpkin tournament, he actually came second in your pumpkin tournament, Keegan. So he's quite good.
Yeah, I recognize the name. Recognize the name for sure. I'm excited to see what these two guys have put together. Glads to Diva Hero, that's a pretty big jump. So let's see if he can make the transition and still win, or if Connor can take back the crown, more or less.
Yeah, this is a bit of a grudge match for sure. So cool. Should we hop into the game?
Yeah, let's do it. Awesome.
Okay.
Paper Yu-Gi-Oh! Always looks good. Connor with the white sleeves and Marcus with the green. What's your preference on sleeve color, Barney?
I do love white sleeves. I think decks always look cleaner in white sleeves. What about you?
I have to agree. I'm a big fan of white. I also love clear sleeves because it shows off how mint your cards are looking.
Oh, yeah,
Speaking of
nice.
mint, look at this secret rare Charge of the Light Brigade. Ideal start. Ideal start for Connor, right?
It is an ideal
Exactly what he
start.
wants.
Usually he'll be searching probably Lumina here, right? Or, I mean, he could already have Lumina, in which case he might be going for something else.
Yeah, if you already have the Lumina, then you're probably searching for Garroth because you milled Lightsworn names. It
Mm,
looks like Connor actually wants Raikou. Maybe he has both Lumina and Garroth already. I guess we'll
that'd be
find out.
insane. Oh, here's the
Well,
Lumina, and here's the
and
Garroth.
there's the Garroth. What a start.
Wow. He'll
With
mills
it backwards
Necron and
and
Wolf.
Wolf. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
What a start. That was a really good start for Connor. You can't be upset about that.
Yeah, that is an amazing turn one. Marcus here,
I
blind
think
MST in the back row.
hmm, maybe thinking I think Connor might even have like a beckoning light. Oh no, a Book of Moon. Okay.
Book of Moon. That's a cheeky tech. I don't see that very often in Lightsworn decks.
Connor's a big fan of the one Book of Moon. He played one copy in his top 8 list from Pumpkin of Games, so pretty interesting to see
Okay.
that he's still on that. Still on the Book of Moon. Deep Sea Diva is going to be really good because it makes a Catastra, and that pretty much deals with this whole board pretty effectively.
It does for sure.
Connor's got to think if he wants to Necrogarna this attack to keep his Lumina in play. What are you thinking? Do you Necrogarna this attack here, Barney?
I think personally I would Necro Gardener this attack because keeping Lumina alive for another turn is a lot of advantage. And he decides to do it.
Yeah, that's going to be at least another 3-5 mils, presuming everything lives, and another Monster Reborn effect.
Hmm. Okay, so
I
I'm
think he's
trying to
got a.
look at Connor's hand. Yeah, it looks like he's got a card trooper, and I think he just
He's
top
also
deck
got
Gauze.
Gores, yeah, Gores, and he's got an Honest as well. I think the Gores is going to be really powerful. He could tribute summon for the Gores to run over this Catastor and apply a lot of pressure. I
No, that would
wonder
be
if
an
he's
amazing play.
yeah, I wonder if he's gonna actually do that here, or if he's just gonna let his board kind of fall apart and then drop the Gores of natural causes.
It looks like he's thinking. Oh, he decides to set the Raikou and go straight to the end phase. And he gets another Wolf. And the Garroth Mills a Plague. Wow.
Very, very powerful turn. Very powerful turn. I think it was definitely on his radar, maybe to tribute summon for Gores. His opponent is kind of back row light, so getting aggressive here might be the right play, but he also might be fearing a Gores in Marcus's hand as well.
Yeah. I feel like it's a shame here because it's almost a bit of a. I mean, he used his Necro Gardener to protect against the Catasta, but still couldn't out it on the following turn. I mean, he could have tributed for the Gores, but maybe, I don't know, maybe he thought that was a bit lacking in some kind of power. He's drawing for turn here. Is that Solar
Looks like
Recharge?
a solar recharge. Yeah, it's got to be a solar recharge.
Mm,
Unfortunate that he's set his Raikou. I don't think he has any other Lightsworn names in hand. I think the rest of his hand is Card Trooper, Gores, and Honest. Raikou can remove the Ally of Justice Catastor, but he does need to be careful of a Gores on Marcus's side. I do think he can make an aggressive push, though, because of that Honest. He might even be able to go for lethal if the opponent doesn't have Gores.
yeah, that is true. Oh,
Correct
he
me if I'm
decides to
wrong, I
recharge.
believe... Oh, it looks like the Raikou wasn't set. Maybe it's the Card Trooper that was set in play as a bluff.
Ah,
Interesting.
I think we just saw Connor top deck into a Chaos Sorcerer with that Solar Recharge. He's going
That's
for a
pretty
Chaos
big.
Sorcerer. That is huge.
That is really
Wow,
big.
that is
Summoning
very
it
strong.
in defense position. Interesting. 1850. This is a really passive play. Connor had a couple different ways he could have gone for lethal here, but electing to play a little bit more passively, maybe hoping to get the last few points in with an Honest. And it looks like he was correct to do so, because Marcus has got the Gores.
Yeah, he did see that Gores coming.
I like Marcus's decision here to put Gores in the token in defense. It doesn't allow Connor to crash his monsters into and create room for his Plague Spreader to make a Synchro in mid-phase 2.
Ah, see, I wouldn't have thought about that. That is an interesting take on that because yeah, he did have a full board, and would he be able to crash? Then main phase 2, he could have ended up doing some synchro summoning.
Yeah. So now we know the card that Connor has set here is Card Trooper, and Marcus Patel has got to think that that set card is a bluff. Otherwise, it would have gotten flipped on the Gores if it was a Raikou.
Yeah, that is very true. We're seeing 2 set cards here from Marcus. Oh, and he top decks the Judgment Dragon just in time. Wow,
Whoa. And
this
Heavy
is
Storm was
huge.
the second draw off of the recharge.
Yeah, yeah, this is
This is
mad.
very big. Wind Blast targeting the set monster. Still staying in there, but I think this Judgment Dragon should just about wrap things up. Let's see.
I think you might be right, Keegan. This Judgment Dragon is looking very strong into a board with no back row.
Because he can stack for Plague, make GoYo Guardian, summon Judgment Dragon plus Honest over the monster for 3,000, GoYo Guardian over the other monster, and then Wolf Direct for lethal. So Connor does have lethal here. Let's see if he's able to put it together.
It looks like he's thinking about it, or he's thinking about something. You can see in the face cam there, he's got
Yeah,
his head in his hands. He's really contemplating what he's going to do.
Connor deep in the tank.
Yeah.
If he's able to put together this lethal, that's pretty big. I mean, you got nothing to be afraid of, right? Because Gores can't really stop you because it's already in play, and you only have one direct attack going through because the JD over whatever is going to be your 3,000. The GoYo over the other thing is going to be your whatever. You can even play around your opponent having something cheeky like Honest by declaring turn player priority with the Judgment Dragon, attacking over the token with Honest turn player priority and damage calc. And then
Mm.
YuGiOh over the Gores, and Wolf Direct should be lethal. The only way you really get punished by that is Igodia, I guess.
And he is summoning the Judgment Dragon here. I think he was always going to summon the Judgment Dragon here, to be honest.
Yep, no matter what, that was definitely the move.
He's going straight for an attack. He's opting not to use the Plague in the grave.
Oh, that's a bit of a misstep. This might come back to punish Connor.
Oh, and he's
It doesn't
using it.
look like it. He's got the
Oh,
honest.
yeah.
Similar setup. Similar setup. The other setup plays around the opponent having an honest, but once you've seen Deep Sea Diva, you can pretty much assume your opponent doesn't have honest in their deck. So
Yeah, that is true. And Connor takes game one. So Keegan, you've played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, a lot of Edison in particular, and we've seen a lot of your videos where you play a myriad of different decks on your channel, and I've seen you play both Lightsworn and Diva Hero. So I'm interested to know what you think. If you were both Connor or Marcus, what would you side against the opponent right now?
well, both players have probably got to have DD Crow on their radar. I think that's one of the big match deciders in this is Absolute Zero and Judgment Dragon. Both those cards are kind of staved off early on by the presence of DD Crow. So I think that's a nice little inclusion. I think. Also, I think from the Lightsworn side of things, maybe if they're siding Brain Control or Vanity's Fiend, just a way to prevent Absolute Zero from hitting play. If you're on the side of things where you're playing the Diva Hero deck, you might be looking at more defensive traps, ways to protect your Catastor, which is a huge threat in this matchup, and maybe ways to fight off some of the unfair graveyard stuff like Plague Spreader Zombie. So DD Crows, of course.
Okay.
What do you
Yeah,
think? Do you have any insight in this matchup? Have you played this matchup before?
I have. Yeah. I've tested a fair bit with both decks, and for me, I think a really big blowout card against the Diva Hero deck is Pulling the Rug. I think Pulling the Rug's an amazing card against Diva because they've got a lot of normal summons that can get wrecked by a well timed Pulling the Rug. You've got Deep Sea Diva, Armageddon Knight, you've got Caius, you've got Stratos. So there's a fair few summons in their deck that get hurt by it. For
Pulling the
Marcus,
Rug.
yeah, what do you think about Pulling the Rug? Do you like that as a card against Diva?
I think
Diva
it's
here?
phenomenal. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Do you as the Lightsworn player side Pulling the Rug in your deck? Is that a card you've chosen to include in your Lightsworn deck?
Um, for me personally, I know I play Lightsworn a bit different to Connor. I think the way I play Lightsworn is a bit more aggressive, a bit more try and mill as much as possible. But listen, I've played matches against Connor where I've gone full in, like we played Lightsworn Mirrors, and I've gone full in, and then he somehow flips D Prison against me. I'm like, why are you playing D Prison in Lightsworn? So Connor does always have some quite cheeky techs, and I could see him potentially siding Pulling the Rug. I don't know if I would though, personally.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. And then from Marcus's side, what do you think he's got going on here?
I think Light Imprisoning Mirror would be great.
Oh yeah, that's a banger. I totally forgot about that. That's for sure coming in. If he's got those, that's for sure
Yeah,
coming in.
if he has those in his side deck, I think they'd be a great inclusion. I think Marcus could be playing. I mean, he'd definitely be playing Crow. And I think, although sometimes I feel like Crow can be a little bit underwhelming in the Lightsworn matchup, I still side it anyway because it's really nice to hit Plague. I don't know. I just feel like there's occasions where they mill Wolf and you have to Crow the Wolf effect, but you've gone neg one and they haven't lost any advantage because they were getting that Wolf for free anyway. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is the worst instance of DD Crow. I think ideally you're hoping to like chain it to a cold wave and like take away their fourth Lightsworn name or something. That's the ideal DD Crow here. Or chain it to
Yeah.
a Plague Spreader, of course. But I think it's still good enough just because they do play a lot of back row removal. You need something that's a little bit harder to interact with, and it can pick apart the key pieces of graveyard stuff they've got going on. Light Imprisoning is going to be a big one, though. If he can find one of those and make it stick, I think it'll be lights out for Connor, for sure.
Agreed. And I'm pretty sure Marcus is starting here.
Yeah. Upstart
Starting
Goblin?
with, yeah.
What are your thoughts on this card? Do you like playing Upstart Goblin in this deck?
I like it in Diva. Um, there are some decks which I'm not a fan of it in. I mean, for this Edison Cup, I played Blackwings, and I'd opted not to use Upstart Goblin because I feel like Blackwing is such an aggro strategy. You want to punch people hard, and giving them life points feels a bit counterintuitive.
Yeah, that extra turn can definitely be the difference between a win or a loss. Ooh, is that a pulling the rug? Is that
It
something?
is. Yeah, Connor just milled a pulling the rug.
Looks like you were
Wow,
spot on about that. That was a crazy prediction. Card looks good in Ultimate Rare. Jeez.
it does look really nice. Yeah, I think Connor was. Um, we were talking about different cards that would be good, and I think maybe someone might have convinced him at the last minute to include that in his side deck. He's opted to add. Is that so? He's milled Plague off of the charge, and he's added Raikou here.
Yes. Yes. He's also
Okay.
started off with a Solar Recharge, so he's gotten a fair bit into his graveyard, about 7 cards here, which is nice. There's the third Upstart Goblin.
So Connor is now on 11K.
It's actually pretty big. That'll give you at least an extra turn against one of this deck's like average pushes.
Hmm.
How do you feel about this attack with the Sangan?
I think it's nice. It would have. The only thing that wasn't making it nice is that Marcus had a back row there. If Marcus didn't set the back row turn one and just decided to attack with the Sangan without any back row, then it would have been a lot nicer. Connor got a favourable trade there, being able to trade his Raikou for a bottomless.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a questionable attack in my opinion, because if you leave the Sangan set, Connor's most likely going to read Snowman Eater, and he'll might most likely go after it with his Raikou. And so
Oh,
I
that is
think
true.
that yeah. However, he does have the Torrential Tribute here, so he's going to be able to pick up his +1 right back, even though he got that wolf for free. So, not the worst situation. Not the worst situation, for sure. I wonder if Marcus drew the Torrential Tribute on the second turn, or if he had it and chose to set bottomless instead on the first turn.
That would be interesting. I'd like to know that as well.
Wars coming down again for Marcus. Start
Of course,
Goblin
it's such
showing
an amazing card.
super good. And Future Fusion.
Oh, here we see a future fusion. This card is such a broken card in Edison.
It's especially broken because Marcus searched Deep Sea Diva off the Sangan. He's going to have a
Yeah,
big turn this turn. Is he
for
going to be
sure,
able
for
to
sure.
kill? Is he going to be able to kill? No, because I think 11,000 is it's just too high.
I agree with you. Yeah, giving his opponent 3,000 life points, I think it just puts him out of the range of being able to do enough damage. So he just opts to attack and pass. Maybe he's thinking next turn he'll be able to get his opponent under some kind of clock. We see Connor top decking. Did he just top deck that JD?
You know, I missed it. He shuffled his hand, but we did get to see that he has a Brain Control and a Beckoning Light as well. So I believe it's Honest, Beckoning Light, Brain Control, JD, and it might be a second copy of Honest, unless I'm mistaking things. You happen to see his fifth card?
I didn't. I didn't. This brain control. If you were Connor right now, would you consider braining the token to be able to? Oh, I don't know. That sounds so subpar, to be honest. I don't know what Connor does in this situation.
If I'm Connor, I'm probably just setting the Beckoning Light and passing. I'm still at 7,200. Don't have
That's
much to
true.
worry about. Could even summon the Honest or just threaten something. Don't really have to do much.
He is opting to brain and taking the token. See, this is something I was thinking about, but I just thought it might be a bit subpar to do this. Because obviously the token's light, he's able to attack and honest, but I just feel like that's a waste of advantage. Bit of a
Yeah, you do kind of 2-for-1 yourself there. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It takes a little bit of the pressure off, and there is a chance that they maybe aren't able to kill you, but they do put you low enough to where the Brain Control will be dead anyway. I'm not sure about the oh my goodness. That's a big deal.
That is insane.
And there's a second pulling the rug, not doing much against this Dark Arm Dragon. Honestly, Marcus doing a great job not summoning the Diva into back row, waiting till he's cleared the back row in order to summon it. And I think that's just going to be game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that should be lethal damage with the Malicious, right?
I think so. I think that is curtains. Um,
Dang, the Deep Sea Diva deck showing off its powerful one-ups and finding them consistently with Upstart Goblin.
for sure. I definitely think Diva Hero is a deck that can play Upstart very well. Oh, was this not game?
Wait a second. I mean, I'm
Oh,
curious why he's going Catastrophe. Maybe he has the second Malicious in hand. Maybe that's the reason he didn't choose to utilize it.
oh, it could be. It could be. Okay, he's
Yeah,
leaving Connor on 300 life. Yeah, he definitely has the Mali in hand then. Because Mali would have been game there.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the second copy of Honest. This is the card I think I saw in Connor's hand on the last turn. He's gonna be able to make a 6-star, but is it gonna be enough? That is one of the downsides of Upstart Goblin. You are gonna draw into double Malicious more frequently when you play him.
Yeah, I guess you're right there. That is definitely a factor. And Connor's just saying, look, I can't do enough. This one Brio is not going to get me out of this situation. You're getting an Ab-Zero next turn. I'm just going to pick up my cards and go to game 3. And that is a fair choice. I would have done the same choice if I were him, to be honest.
Yeah. Game 3. Connor's going to be able to go first. Let's see if he can find Charge the Light Brigade on turn 1 yet again for the third time this match.
Wow, do you see that Trap Eater in his side deck? I didn't even know he played that. He's playing Trap Eater.
But I do see a Prohibition.
Prohibition.
Prohibition's a wild one too.
This is a really techie side deck from Connor. Pulling the rugs, Prohibitions, Trap Eaters. And seeing
that's one of these things, right? You're in a tournament, right? There's 13 men in the tournament, and maybe it's your mates, maybe you've played against them a bunch. Prohibition's one of those cards which I maybe won't sideboard a bigger event, but if it's against my boy and I know what cards he owns, it's a lot better.
That is true.
Honest.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. There was a game against Connor when we were just playing a fun game testing, and I was playing the Deep Draw Dragon deck and he was playing Lightsworn, and I was like, "It's game next turn," and he was like, "How is it game? How is it game? It's definitely not game." And I was like, "Well, look at what I have in my grave. I have Card Trooper in my grave, and I might have something in my hand that can bring back the Card Trooper." And he went, "Oh, activate Prohibition, call the Bree Dragon." And I was just like, "No, you can't do that. I just told you I have that. No, you weren't going to do that, man." But yeah, we definitely is one of those cards, like you say, that you can just play against your boys when you know what they're up to.
Yeah, little local metagaming for sure. Cool card though. It definitely has merit even in larger tournaments. Just for, especially if you lose to like one specific card, like Absolute Zero, might be pretty good there.
Yeah, just being able to Prohibition call Absolute Zero. Marcus thinking about what he's going to side here. Looks like he's siding quite a lot of cards, or...
Yeah, Dark Arm Dragon is not often included in the Deep Sea Diva deck. It's kind of like 50-50. What do you think on including Dark Arm Dragon in the deck? Do you think it's a card you would want to play?
I think
strategy?
Personally, I think it's something that I would include because it's just such a bomb. It's such an incredible card. It's definitely one of the biggest boss monsters and one of the best boss monsters in Edison. And if my deck plays enough dark monsters, I think I would definitely consider including it. I mean, it also depends on your ratios, like your Armageddon Knight ratios. I know there is one cheeky tech that Marcus plays. He plays one Mystic Tomato in his Deep Sea Diva deck. And I don't see a lot of Diva Hero decks running one Mystic Tomato. So
I'm a fan of that card. I think that card's very good.
Yeah, me too. And like you said, you predicted Connor has drawn the Charge of the Light Brigade for the third game.
That's the Lightsworn experience right there. That's pretty cool. You love to see this deck function. It's always a lot of fun. Maybe not for the opponent, but Always a lot of fun. Milling cards, drawing cards.
He's going for the card
Great
trooper
stuff.
first. Oh, he's thinking about it. Yeah, he goes for the card trooper before the charge. Maybe he wants to hold the charge.
I
Wow,
don't know about that.
that is interesting from
Oh,
Connor deciding to hold the charge, but trap dust shoot. I mean, what a broken card, Edison. Is
is
that?
that a Thunder King YuGiOh?
That is a Thunder King YuGiOh. Gauze, T King, Mirror Force, Torrential, Mali, Future Fusion.
Thunder
Thunder King
King is
YuGiOh.
gonna punish Connor. If he doesn't send it back, he's gonna punish him for holding that charge.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yep, and he
Yep, he's
decides to
got to
send
send
it
back
back.
the Thunder King. That's unfortunate too, because as the Lightsworn player, you'd love to send back the Gores. Gores was instrumental for Marcus in the last 2 games, and because Connor didn't activate his charge on the first turn of the game, he was forced to send back a different card.
Yep, that is true. And now, I mean, by activating this Future Fusion, Marcus is turning off his own Gauze, but I'm sure there will be a way. And he does have the other Mali in hand. To be honest with you, Keegan, would you have activated Future Fusion in this situation? You have a Mali in hand already, so sending the other one wouldn't be that great. And also, you have Gauze in your hand.
No. No, I would not have. That's I would not have activated anything. I would not have set anything. I would have just passed the turn. But hey, I mean, I don't know. You're already in an awkward position, right? Because you have to out this card trooper. Maybe set something like a torrential. Make it harder for the opponent to summon things. If they mill a wolf, you can at least torrential the wolf and the card trooper and prevent them from getting those 3 additional mills every single turn.
Yeah. We just saw Connor
But
mill the plague
I
as
don't
well.
really see. Yeah, I don't see the value in activating Future Fusion here.
No, me.
Unless Marcus plays. Do you know if he plays the Armageddon Knight?
I think Marcus does play an Armageddon Knight. Yeah.
Okay, that might unbrick his hand then. Okay, I can see it now. If he does play the Armageddon Knight, then it is understandable.
Why is that? Do you think he'll be able to send the plague, stack the Mali?
Yes, exactly. And then he'll be able to put together a bigger play for him. If he's able to find Armageddon Knight or Rhoda. So I think that's fine. And getting the Future Fusion down earlier rather than later means you'll get the Absolute Zero earlier rather than later, which is always good. And it looks like he picked up Thunder King again.
Yeah.
Turn too late. Still good. Still good here, I think.
Getting back to that Thunder King. What do you think of Thunder King YuGiOh as a card in Edison format?
I think it's a little underwhelming. It doesn't interact super well with Caius or Raikou or Snowman Eater. But the cards it does shut off, it does do a good job of shutting them off. It's pretty good against the Quick Draw deck. And I think it's pretty good in the Lightsworn deck because you can set up some checkmate positions. Speaking of checkmate positions, that was a super fast start for Connor. Looks like he's pretty excited.
That was an game. Yeah, he's excited and getting his own back in the Winter Cup by beating Marcus in round 1. Just seeing there that although Thunder King, you know, on paper it does have a powerful effect, all the Lightsworn deck has to do is mill a wolf and say goodbye to your Thunder King.
Exactly. If you don't have the back row or the backup for that monster, it's going to be a lot harder to stick around and gain value.
100%.
And in this format, there's a ton of good removal, so kind of hard.
There is for sure. Here, listen, Keegan, thank you so much for coming along to commentate round 1 and to check out round 1 of our cup. We really appreciate it, man.
And, of course, thanks for having me. To all the viewers, make sure you guys are subscribed to the Disciples. You don't want to miss out on any of these other rounds that are coming up. So check out the rest of those as well. And leave a like. Leave a like for the boys.
Thanks, Keegan. And guys, subscribe to E3 YuGiOh as well. If you guys are following us from more meta stuff and you like the look of Edison format and you want to see what Edison format's all about, then please check out Keegan at E3 YuGiOh because he is the GOAT of Edison format content on YouTube. He does deck lists, deck profiles, gameplay, tournaments, the Ribbit tournament. There's more of those coming out soon as well, Keegan, right? Ribbit tournaments?
Yeah, we've got 5 major tournaments coming up this year. super excited for all those. The next one takes place on March 26th. It's free to enter, so if you guys, any of the Disciples guys, or anyone watching this video wants to enter in that tournament, definitely come check it out. Anyway, thanks for having me, Barney.
Amazing. No, Keegan, thank you so much. All the best, and see you later, guys.
Peace.